Hey guys, it's Tinker Taylor here today, back with another Pokemon build series video. Today we have Jumpluff, who is a grass flying type Pokemon, and to me it kind of looks like a little blueberry with, I guess, you know, like the little dandelion things that you blow and you make a wish and they go flying out everywhere, and you're actually just aiding the spread of the plant by doing that. It's got 3 of those sort of attached to it. So I guess when I looked at it, I thought of, you know, when you blow on the dandelion, make a wish, and it I don't think it's a dandelion. I feel like dandelion's the yellow weed flower. This is not it, but I also could be wrong. I'm not very well versed in the weeds. To be honest, I'm also not very well versed in plants, specifically like flowers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm probably 100% wrong when I'm saying that. But I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I guess when I looked at it, I kind of thought of, you know, you blow on the plant and all the little bits of it go flying everywhere, and wow, flying airport, let's do that. And I'm kind of glad I did, because it's such a cute little build. I wasn't originally intending for it to be a cute build. I was originally intending for it to be a small town airport, like just a little small town airport, nothing special, nothing fancy, but it ends up being really cute, in my opinion. I don't like boasting, I don't like, you know, tooting my own horn or anything like that, but I do try and be proud of myself where I can be, and this is one of those places where I feel like I should be a little proud of myself, you know? I did some things that I haven't necessarily done before. I've done some things that, I don't know, I just did things a little bit differently, and I'm very glad I did, because it's honestly, I don't know if I necessarily would have done these things if not for, I don't know, just exploring and having fun in this build. I also did edit. This video is so long, you probably saw the time stamp. So there will be certain sections of this video that are sped up 8 times instead of the normal 4 times, but do not worry, I make sure they are bits where the camera is not moving. It's just me scrolling through the, I don't even know what I was going to say, the gallery, but like scrolling through all the different items. So when I move, I slow it back down to the 400, well, I say slow it back down. It's still sped up, it's just at 400 times speed instead of 800. Or 4%, 400%, 800%, 4 times, 8 times. Yeah, so you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I definitely tried to make sure that I didn't make people dizzy, but I also, yeah, there was a lot of scrolling in this video, so I tried to speed it up as much as possible in those circumstances. But yeah, like I was saying, it's a big build, and it's interesting. Like I find it just, a lot of the things that I did in it, I wasn't really expecting to do. Also apologies if you hear the the dogs in the background. Those are my roommate's dogs. And if you dare move outside, whether you be a person or a leaf, you will be barked at. So yeah, there's no way anybody is getting into this house without us knowing of your approaching, which is like great, but also not great because they bark 24/7. Well, one of them does. The other one just kind of follows everyone around like a little confused guy, because yeah, he is a little bit of a brain cell short of a thought. He's adorable, but he's dumb. But you know, that's just what he is. So yeah. Anyway, not the point. The point is, yeah, I really did have a lot of fun with this build. So the first maybe half of this build, I live streamed over on Twitch. If you are interested in seeing it, there is a link down below. I can include links down below to, I was gonna say all my stuff, but I've recently started posting on Facebook and I haven't added that yet. So I'll go and add that link, hopefully for this video. Watch me forget. Honestly, I say I'm gonna do things, and then if I don't immediately write it down, it just goes straight out my brain. Like there's not a single piece of information that is retained in this little brain unless I write it down. But yeah, if you want to see me live stream over on Twitch, there is a link for that. And I do share all my builds over on Instagram as well. So if you're ever just wanting to like look at pictures or short little videos, I do put them over there. But yeah, the building of this airport took 10,000 years because of the fact that when I live streamed it, I spent like half the time just talking. I had to cut out so many bits where I was just hanging out, chatting with people. There's a bit where I was talking about Australian lollies and telling a story about red frogs. It's a very, very interesting story. You should definitely look it up if you've never heard of red frogs. There's two different things. There's Red Frogs the Candy, the lollies, by Allen's, and then there's the Red Frogs organization, and they're friends. They're not. Allen's didn't start the organization, but they support them. But the reason why the Red Frogs organization is named after them is because the person who started it used red frogs as a sort of beginning to it. It's really quite a beautiful story. And I could ramble on about it for however long this video is, but I do have other things I want to talk about. I wrote a little list of things I wanted to talk about in this video, and red frogs was not one of them. But yeah, that's just what happens though with a lot of the videos, not even videos, like when I live stream as well, I just end up talking about the most random things that I didn't even ever think I'd talk about. But, you know, I feel like that makes life a little bit more interesting and fun when you never know what's going to be talked about, when you never know what's going to be said. Even though, yeah, I do write these things down so that I have something to talk about, I'm still going to go off topic and talk about a million different things. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not really following my own script because, you know, life doesn't need to be scripted. We can have moments where we talk about random things. But yeah, I don't know, this video I'm definitely trying to stay on topic with, things that are at least somewhat related to this build. So something I did write down was, where would you go on holiday, you know? Let's just pretend this little airport goes anywhere in the world, everywhere in the world. Where would you go? Let me know down in the comments, where would your next holiday be? Or your dream holiday, or your favourite holiday, or anything about going on holidays. Let me know, where would you go, or anything like that. I have done a lot of, I don't want to say holidaying in Australia, but I've done a lot of adventuring. I guess that's probably a better way of putting it. I've definitely gone about and visited many places, and you know, it's definitely been a ton of fun. But I've only been overseas twice. I do plan on doing it more often, and I definitely have places I want to go. But yeah, I've only been overseas twice. I visited 4 countries in those 2 adventures. So I guess you could say that I've been to 5 countries, including Australia, because that's, you know, where I live, where I grew up, where I'm from. But yeah, I went to New Zealand as my first overseas trip, and let me tell you, that was phenomenal. I want to go again. It's not just New Zealand. I want to go to all of the Pacific Islands. I think they are beautiful, and it's just a very different vibe to Western culture, I would say. I don't know, I felt, because the other places I've been to are Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, and it's the same sort of thing. Like, yes, there are definitely aspects that I see in Australia, like in Western culture, in these countries, but there's also so many other things that are completely different, and it's, I don't know, I just find it really, really nice to be able to gain a new perspective on the world, on my life, on that sort of stuff, you know? I'm not I don't know, there's, like, I've seen good and bad things, in other countries. And it really does put my life and where I am and who I am into perspective. So I think that's another thing I like about, you know, a lot of people like to see the beautiful sights, and, you know, absolutely, I'm there for the beautiful sights as well. But yeah, it's, for me, it's also like putting my life into perspective. It's seeing other people in other cultures and other countries existing and living their life, and knowing that, you know, like, we're all just people at the end of the day. We're all just people, we're all just living our lives, we're all just existing, and I don't know, it's kind of comforting to know, no matter where you are, we're all just existing. We're all just little guys on this little planet doing our little guy things. And I don't know, I find it very comforting and grounding. Which might seem a bit like, what are you talking about? That's such a random thing to say, but I don't know. I find it, yeah, very grounding just to know that no matter where you are, you can find people, and you can find people like you who are just living their life and doing their things, and, you know, it's something as simple as, like, you know, going to a shopping centre or a mall, I guess. Like, it's nothing special, it's just a shop. Like, you go shopping and whatever, but I don't know, it's just, you can see people living their normal life, and it's, at least for me, it's very grounding to see that, yes, people exist, and they just exist. Like, there's nothing different about this place. Like, yes, it's special to me because I've never been here before, but a lot of people see the places that are not special to me might be special to them because of the fact that they've never been there before, and it's new and exciting. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of a fun and interesting little thing to experience. You know, like, when I was in Singapore, the fact that the sky, it's very different, but people are just walking around living their life, and, like, that, to them, that's normal. Like, the sky looking like that is normal, but for me, it's very, very different. And, you know, I've dealt with humidity. Because I've lived all over Australia. I've dealt with many different climates in Australia, but the humidity in Singapore is on another level. It's insane. But yeah, I don't know, it's a very interesting, like when you go traveling, you just get to experience so much. Yeah, I think for sure my first stop would be New Zealand again. If I could, I would definitely try and go to more of the, you know, the Pacific Islands. I wouldn't just do New Zealand, but I definitely enjoyed New Zealand. So I only went to the South Island when I went. In fact, yeah, it was the first place I ever went overseas. So yeah, it's definitely something, like, I want to go back and explore more and see more. I've had a look at cruises in the area, and cruises that go to other places as well, and, like, it's expensive. It's very expensive, and it might take me a little while to save up, but I do want to go. Like, that is a dream, absolutely, to go one day. And yeah, I think it would be really, really cool and fun. Another place I want to go, like, it sounds a little cliche, but I want to go to the UK. I want to travel around the UK and have a look around. I mean, I've got ancestors from there. Like, my grandfather was born in England, and we can trace other ancestors back to Scotland and places like that. So for me, it's like, you know, I want to see where that side of my family came from. I mean, I say that side, I'm pretty sure you can go back on the other side of my family and trace it back. It's probably just a little bit further. But yeah, I don't know, there's just a little bit about exploring where you come from. But I don't really have many countries that I wouldn't go to be honest. There's maybe like 6 countries that I wouldn't go to. A few of them have been since I could make decisions for myself and think, which it's questionable when that was. But yeah, there's a few countries that I don't think I'll ever visit for personal reasons, but there are other countries that some people might question why I would visit, but I'd give it a go. You know, I've got a few friends who live in some I say random countries, but like people live all over the world. It's not random. Like, we live everywhere. Everybody lives everywhere. But yeah, I think there's definitely some places I would love to go that I just don't know enough about to not necessarily have a reason, but, you know, clearly I need to do some more research to find a reason to go. I mean, you could just travel for the sake of traveling, but I'm the sort of person, like, I want to have goals and reasons to go, you know, like, for me, seeing the UK, it's seeing where, you know, like my grandfather grew up. My aunt has been over there. She grew up over there, and so did some of my cousins. And, you know, seeing where they lived and what it was like, I think that would be definitely interesting. And obviously, like, sightseeing and being a tourist and whatnot. I don't know. I love learning, so for me, if there's something to learn in a country, that's a good enough reason for me to go. And if the country is beautiful, which I don't think I've ever come across a country that doesn't have some part of it that is beautiful. You know, like, you could argue that, like, Australia, a lot of the times Australia in media is depicted as just the outback. It's just, you know, dust and sand and just you wouldn't want to go. And I've been to areas like that, and there is a beauty in it. There's also a bit of, for me personally, a little bit of, I don't want to say terror, but, you know, a healthy amount of fear. You don't mess with the outback, especially not in Australia when there's just so many deadly animals out there. You know, when I went camping in the centre of one of our states, they told us we were not allowed to leave the campgrounds after dark. Didn't matter what was going on, could not leave it. Like, obviously, if there was an emergency, you could drive out and whatever, but they were like, do not walk past these walls. It wasn't even fences, it was walls. It was brick walls. Because there are dingoes and other animals out there that just will see you as a healthy little snack. So, yeah, like, I absolutely understand it. But yeah, there's even in Australia, like, we've got so many different climates, so many different areas to visit. You know, we've got tropical rainforests and mountains, snowy mountains, and obviously the outback, and, you know, there's just a lot of beaches as well. But yeah, like, there's just so many different places to visit. And like I've said before, I've travelled to many places in Australia, visited a lot of different places, and you just never get over. I mean, I don't. I think it's a beautiful country, no matter where you're looking, really. And yeah, I feel like almost every country in the world is like that. I would say, I mean, Antarctica is not really a country, but a place I would not personally visit, and that's not counted in the group of places I probably wouldn't visit, but it's because I don't like the cold. Like, I would visit a cold country, that's fine, but, you know, somewhere that's that cold and you could potentially get stuck there for months on end, no thank you. I'll pass. I'll leave that to the scientists and researchers and stuff like that. I'm good. But yeah, I don't know. That was a really long, rambly way to ask, what countries would you guys visit? But yeah, no, this video is very long. I did mention that at the start, and I was really hoping that I could edit it down. I still can't say it. I edited it down from 3.5 hours to 45 minutes. So that's pretty good. I think it was originally going to be 52 minutes. So I saved us 7 minutes. That's pretty good. But no, recently I've been watching a lot of James Turner build videos, and not just like his new stuff, but his like old stuff. Like, I think the most current videos of his that I've been watching have been from 2016. So they're old videos. And some of his videos would be this long, and he would just effortlessly talk for this long. And I think part of it I realised is because he talks a lot, or I say talked back then. I don't really watch his gameplay videos because I don't really believe in gameplay. I don't. I pretend it's not real. But I don't really watch gameplay videos, so I don't really watch a lot of his current videos. But yeah, I can say for back then, he would talk a lot about, like The Sims 3, The Sims 2, The Sims 1. And I guess it was a lot easier to back then, because he was very into The Sims 3. Like, if you go and look back at his older videos, actually, if you sort by oldest to newest, it's Sims 3. That's where his videos kind of start. But I have only ever played this version. I played Sims 3 once, I think. I think it was just once. And I played for about 10 minutes and I got so confused and lost and I just didn't play. So this is my entry into the Sims universe, I guess. I did play a little bit of Sims Mobile for a bit, but it just really wasn't my thing because I wanted to build and just really wasn't... I mean, you could, but yeah, it's not like this. This is what I want to do. There's no really free building in that game, or at least when I was playing there wasn't. So yeah, I'm not very knowledgeable in the Sims lore, the Sims sphere, and I learn a lot from watching those videos. But yeah, he just effortlessly talks about it, and I think because of the fact that he did play those videos for, those games for so long, he can just talk all about it. But I definitely did not play those games, so I kind of don't have something to fill in those gaps with, where I don't know what to talk about. But I am learning more and more about these other games. I mean, I do have The Sims 3. I have The Sims 3 and I think it's the Fast Lane DLC. I believe it's that one. I actually got that, the Fast Lane DLC on a CD. I could not even tell you how long ago, but I never really played it because the laptop I had couldn't really run it. It was really struggling to. And I just never really touched it. And then, yeah, Sims 4 existed. And I had a friend who got it when it came out. And I saw them playing it for like 5 minutes. But they were playing The Sims. They were actually, playing with the little characters and whatnot. And it didn't interest me. It wasn't what I wanted. I mean, I didn't really game as a kid or as a younger teen, I guess. Like when I got into my older teens, I did. But I didn't really know about gaming, to be honest. We didn't really, we had the Wii and we had a PlayStation 2. I think that was it. But even then, we had the DS. We had a DS as well, but again, these, I didn't have them my whole childhood either. So, I didn't really play games. So, yeah, I don't know, I was much more into reading and I guess watching TV, but even that, not so much. Very big into the reading, and then, yeah, when I kind of got into the second half of high school, I guess. Now, for those of you who are not in Australia, high school is year 7 to 12. It used to be year 8 to 12, but they changed it, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I think. I don't know. But yeah, it was, about the second half of high school where I actually started to get into gaming, and that's kind of where I found The Sims. So yeah, for me, I can't really talk about the other games because I just didn't play them. I didn't have them. I didn't know about them really. But I got The Sims 4 base game and Cats and Dogs in a bundle deal, cheaper price thing, and that's where it all started. I think the second DLC I ever got was maybe Get Famous. I can't remember. I just remember my first build. If you look at my first ever build, it has Get Famous in it, and that's why I think it is Get Famous. But the problem was I had done some builds on my laptop, and I'd asked one of my friends in high school, like, hey, I'm going to be changing laptops. How do I get this stuff from this laptop onto the new one? Because I was moving to uni and I needed my own laptop, and I was leaving the family laptop for the family. And they were like, oh, just do this, and, you know, like, it'll be fine. And they'd researched it, and they knew enough about computers that I trusted them. And so I did all that, and I checked, and yeah, when I basically, they got me to get the save files and email them to myself, so that when I was going to the new computer and the new laptop, I could log in to my email and then download it, and it would be there. Problem is, the file was empty, so I could not tell you if, I mean, I don't even know if we have the laptop. I'll have to ask my mum next time I'm at her house to see if it still exists. Because, yeah, if it, I definitely check if there was, but they'd probably be really mid-level builds, which, you know, I was a beginner. It makes sense. They're probably kind of really bad. But yeah, that first build was the first one I did on, I believe, on my PC, which is what I'm on now. I think I had to build my PC before I actually got to, maybe I did it on my laptop. I can't remember. I don't know. I just remember, yes, building my PC and editing my first ever video and voicing it, and I was so, like, not scared, but I was just, like, nervous about it, and now I'm way less nervous. I'm still a little, I don't want to say uncomfortable with voice recording and things like that. I definitely close my door and kind of hide away and do it, but I'm definitely feeling a lot more confident about it. I don't feel as, I don't feel as nervous about it anymore. And I guess I'm at the point where I'm like, just pretend you're confident, you'll be fine. And it's kind of working in the sense that, like, I'm confident, but it's because I've tricked myself into being confident, but I'm still feel like I'm not, and it's, yeah, a little loopy loop of, am I confident or am I just tricking myself? But I'm not really questioning it, because if I sound and feel confident, then I must be, you know. I'm not gonna argue with it. But yeah. Also, apologies if you can hear running water in the background. There's a bathroom on the other side of one of my walls, and that is where one of my roommates' bathrooms is, and their shower is, like, right there. I did try and record this before they would have a shower, but I didn't make it clearly. But yeah, look, I'll definitely try and record when they're not showering, but this video took me forever and a day to edit, honestly. Most of it was because of procrastination, but yeah, part of it was because, like, I felt like every 5 minutes I would, you know, be like, oh, I did a huge chunk of work. You know, I edited so many bits and pieces, and I've progressed so far through the video, and then I would look at how much footage was left, and I was like, cool, I'm never getting to the end of this video. And then I would get distracted for, like, half an hour to an hour, and then I'd come back and do 5 more minutes of work, and yeah, if I had just, you know, that first hour of procrastination, if I had just kept working, I would have probably done most of the video by that point. But yeah, not gonna lie to you guys, I definitely procrastinated quite a bit. But yeah, no, with this build, actually, the part I'm kind of working on now is sort of like the admin officey space, I guess. You saw me just do like some office chairs and desks and things like that, and I imagine they're like the people who organize when the flights are coming in, when they're leaving. You know, are there going to be any non-passenger planes as well? They're probably organizing, you know, pickups for cargo or anything like that. They might also do customer service booking things if there's a like if that's where the airport, not the airport, sorry, if there's an airline that comes from here, like that's run from here, maybe they do that. But yeah, there's just that little officey space just off this kitchen area. Obviously I had to do a kitchen for them. And then above this kitchen area is actually the control tower. I think we've already done that. I'll be real honest with you guys. I have just been talking away so much that I've not really been paying attention to what has or hasn't been done. And then yeah, the floor below this one, so just below the kitchen, there is going to be, I think it's just 2 bathrooms and a little seating space. And that little seating space, I know I did towards the end, and I kind of, I don't want to say lost motivation, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll put in some seating spaces and do this and that, and then cool, I've completely forgotten to put a rug down or a coffee table or anything like that. So it's a pretty blank space, I'm not gonna lie. But the rest of it I feel pretty happy about. So yeah, I mean, definitely let me know down below if you love this build, if you hate it, if you think it is too much, not enough. The original idea was for it to be a small town airport with like just being very bland and boring and basic, and then I clearly did not take that path. Like you can see in the little departure lounge area that, like, you know, there's just these simple chairs with some linoleum flooring, and I end up turning that into the really nice wooden floorboards, and it just becomes a really nice place, which I'm not mad at. Like, I do like building nice places, but the goal was kind of to build a small town airport, and this feels like a fancy airport. So I guess I kind of pivoted. Well, I mean, obviously I did, but I guess you could say maybe like this is a private island and this is like the little private airport that's there. I don't know. I don't really hang out at small airports. I mean, to be honest, I don't really hang out with airports either. I have flown quite a bit in my life, mostly within Australia, but yeah, like I've been to airports, I've been to some international airports, and they're usually pretty fancy. I was gonna say bougie, but they're fancy. But yeah, with this airport, I do this upstairs area. I just put in a bar and a little cafe type thing upstairs with some seating areas. There's that really, really nice outdoor green area. I imagine if you want to just sit out there and, you know, feel the sun on your face or relax, I don't know, if you just want to get some fresh air or whatever, you can definitely sit out there. You'll definitely hear the noise of all the planes coming in and out though. Although if it's a small town airport, I doubt there'd be too many planes coming in and out. Or if it was a private airport, I don't know, I imagine this is like, yeah, like there's some island where you can fly in, but it's, you know, it's just full of like really rich fancy houses. So yeah, maybe you won't hear too many planes coming in and out of that area. There are also 2 bathrooms up there with just toilet, sink, mirror, soap, and actually there's 2 mirrors and the toilet paper, so there's not really much going on in there. But yeah, I don't know, I had a lot of fun with this build. It was just something, you know, I could have made it bland and boring, and I didn't want to, so I made it fancy and pretty and fun and different. So I do hope that you guys like it, because I definitely do. It's definitely, It's definitely one of those things where I wish we could do multi-use lots, where you could kind of, I mean, it would, I know you, like, with, like, the home business lots, small business lots, I think that's what they're called, you assign the rooms to be like, okay, this is employees, this is customers, and this is the house, which, you know, pretty smart way of doing it. But like, what if you don't want to have separate rooms? Because you could do that for small businesses. You could for multiple business, sorry, you could say, okay, this room here is a part of the bakery, but then you'd be like, okay, this is the bakery, but this is the employee area of the bakery. And it would just, I can understand why it'd be very difficult to run multiple businesses on one lot. But the other thing is, like, yeah, look at an area like this, where I have a cafe and I have a bar, but they're in one room. So, you know, if you were doing it by separate rooms, I could theoretically draw a little, like use a little fence or something like that, or raise one up on a platform, or just do something like that to make them separate rooms. But then the seating area, where do I assign the seating area? Because if I assign the seating area to, you know, this outdoor seating area, I could assign to the cafe, but then the cafe people would only use that outdoor seating area if I assigned the indoor seating area to be just for the bar. And it just, how would you have that? Like, you could say, like, oh, this is everybody use, like, all the businesses can use this area. Because if you made, like, a shopping centre, you'd have, obviously, like, the hallways between shops. You could assign that to, you know, be general use, I guess. But I don't know, I don't know how it would work. And I'm kind of starting to understand why the Sims team hasn't necessarily done it. It would be really cool if they could. Like, I definitely understand why people want it, because I definitely want it. Especially, you know, being a builder, I want to be able to do these really fun, cool builds. And yeah, it's like, how do I do these really fun, cool builds if, I mean, I could do the builds, it's just like, how do I use the lots if the lots aren't going to work? So I kind of get it. It would just be really, really cool if we could. But with a new pack that's coming, there's definitely new stuff that's being added. I don't know if it's called Adventure Awaits, but that's what my brain has decided it's called, because that's a word or a phrase that I've heard a lot with the pack. And yeah, I don't know, like, it's just, they're potentially having new stuff. I don't know. They might be having new lot types. Well, I mean, there is the new lot type of the, like, the getaway, but I want to know, like, are getaways, are you able to do them anywhere? Like, if I, on this lot in Windenburg, can I make this a getaway lot? I mean, not with this build on it, but, you know, could I just pick any lot and make it a getaway? I think that would be really cool if we could. But yeah, I doubt we're getting multi-use lots past what we've already got, which is still pretty cool that you can have home businesses and stuff like that. But yeah, having multiple businesses on one lot, I'm just not too sure how it would work. I feel like what I've seen with this new pack, like, it might work the way that they're trying to set it up with, you know, being able to time things. So you can say, like, okay, there's these activities during the day, I want these activities during the morning and the night, I want these activities. Like, I feel like that's their way of trying to get around it, which I totally get. I think that's probably the best way to do it. You know, you could technically run a hotel like that if you say during the night people sleep, during the evening they go to the bar, during the day they do, I don't know, karaoke if you put a karaoke bar in, or swimming or something like that. So I definitely think they're trying to do a workaround for that. And because, yeah, honestly, I don't know how you would do multi-lots in one lot and have them work. So I think if that's their way of trying to get around it, that's pretty decent, you know? Like, you're still trying to figure out a way to make it work. So yeah, definitely definitely respect that if that's what they're doing. But yeah, I'm not a coder, I'm not a game player, I don't know how any of this works, so I'm just, hoping it works in the way people want it to work, because, I think it would be pretty cool to be able to do, like multi-business lots. And I guess that's probably the way they do it. I literally just asked that question and then answered my own question. But yeah, I definitely feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of multi-business lots in the next couple of months, and I'm probably going to do a few myself. I have a little spreadsheet with all the ideas I've written down. If my ideas warrant it, then I probably will. But I have not finished my ideas, so I'm definitely probably going to put some more ideas on there that are related to multi-business lots now that I've spoken about it. How many times have I said multi-business lots? Way too many times, probably. But anyway, we are kind of wrapping up with the rest of this build. I don't think I add anything else inside other than kind of, what I just did then, because I do move into this little plane hangar. I imagine maybe they do have an airline and they keep their little plane in here. And I kind of just fill it out, like at the back is sort of like a storage zone, so maybe they have mail coming in, or I don't know what else, stuff. And then I set up like a little section that's kind of like a repair station for the plane, like maybe they're tinkering on the plane. And then I do 2 bathrooms, so if you are working in here, you don't have to go to the main building to go to the bathroom. Bathrooms are not as nice, not as fancy, but they're still decent bathrooms. And then I do a little sitting area. There's no kitchen or kitchenette, which I probably should have done, like a little, like, maybe they've got like a microwave and a bin and a fridge or something like that, but I honestly didn't even think about it. Did not think about it at all. So apologies to the people who work in here because you don't even have a kitchenette, which is sort of super lame of me. I shouldn't have done that. I probably should have added something like that in. But there is a dining table. Nice big dining table for you guys to take a rest at, relax, put your feet up, take a break, have some lunch, and that's pretty much it. So I also do some landscaping with this build, which I do some, I don't want to say different things because I don't really do, I do landscaping, but I don't know what I'm doing when I do it. But I added like a grassy, rocky area with just random grass and rocks around. So if you're somebody who does landscaping, definitely let me know. I've said this 1,000 times before, and I'll probably say it 1,000 times more. I'm not very good or confident with landscaping. Cluttering, I feel decent at. This place is not cluttered in the way I ideally want to do it, but to be honest, I was getting towards the end and I just wanted to finish, and I didn't want to have to put 1,000,000 items in and increase the pack usage. Which, by the way, if you want to know what packs and kits were used, it is down in the description below. I put it in the description of all of my videos. I don't know, I started doing it a year or 2 ago, and then I stopped because I got lazy, and now I'm doing it again. So, if there is a video that does not have the description for the Pokemon builds, please yell at me and I will go fix that. There's should only be 2 that don't, and those are 2 builds that I have lost. And I put it in the video that, I've lost these builds, so you will not have the, you just won't have the stuff for it. You won't know because I don't know because I lost the build. But like I said, if I haven't, please yell at me and I will go back and amend that. But the reason why the reason why I do it for you guys is so you guys know, but the reason why I'm keeping track is because I'm putting them into my spreadsheet, where I have the list of ideas. I got a little like a page in the workbook that I'm recording all of the packs and kits used, and I'm going to have somebody else, I've decided, to run an analysis on all of the info, like the packs used, the likelihood of them using it, of me using it, sorry, the correlation to the Pokemon types. I want to know, like, is there a generational, like, in Gen 1, did I use a lot of Horse Ranch, which I feel like I did, but, you know, I want to know all that sort of information, and obviously I'll take into account the fact that, you know, like, some of these packs and kits were only released after this series, or, like, during this series, so obviously if, you know, like, the Grange Mudroom Kit is the newest one, and I think I only used it in this build so far. I think I've used it in the last build as well, actually. So far I've only used it twice. So I'll definitely take that into consideration. But yeah, we're actually finally at the end, which is sort of, I feel like I've been talking forever. But yeah, here we are at the end. We're just going through some screenshots here. So this is where you come in and you get scanned, you put your bags through the beep boop machine. You can come right over here for your flight, or you can head upstairs, and there's a bar and a cafe and a bunch of seating areas. And then, yeah, like I said, there's the office spaces as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to this build. So if you guys want to see more stuff like this, definitely make sure to subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this build down below. I definitely love feedback. I genuinely do. I'd love to hear what you guys think and feel. But yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.